Yo, what's poppin', gamers? Welcome back to a brand new bad business video, and today we're finally doing an updated tips and tricks video. You guys been asking me to do this for quite some time because the last one we did was in 2019 in August, I think. So we're slowly but surely coming up on that year and a half ago mark. So I decided to finally do an updated one because I think they're done adjusting like certain movements and stuff in the game. I think we finally found a sweet spot when it comes to bad business. So I think it's time for me to do an updated one. And this should be the final tips and tricks that we should need to do when it comes to movement and everything as well. But if you guys would like to see more videos like this that are helpful, top 5 best weapons, things like that, tips and tricks, everything like that, leave a like down below. Lets me know that you guys would like to see more content like this. And if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on the bell notification to get notified every single time I do upload to see more content like this in the future. Our like goal for today is 1,000 likes. I'm going to keep making this my like goal until we finally hit it because it's been a long time. So hopefully one day we'll hit it. So if you guys don't know, I'm doing Noti Gang shoutouts every single video. So if you guys like the chance to be in the next vid like these guys, leave a comment down below saying hashtag Noti Gang and answer this question. What is your favorite weapon in bad business currently? Let me know down below in the comments. Alrighty, let's get straight into this tips and tricks. Starting off with the settings. Here is all my settings. I don't recommend copying other people's sensitivity settings, but if you are going to copy somebody and base it off of that, but if you're going to choose a sense, you have to choose it and stick with it, because if you continuously keep changing and you don't do good with one, you're like, oh, I should adjust something. Stop doing that. I know there's so many of you guys out there doing that. Stop it. Choose one, stick with it. All right, so getting into the juicy parts, boys. Now, if you guys don't know, the two main things that you guys need to absolutely know to be a good player in bad business is movement and aim. That is the two main things. So I'm gonna be showing you guys the movement first because the aiming process is more of a longer process. It's not something you will learn in a day and get good at in a day. It's going to take time for you guys to start controlling your specific weapon and doing really good with incorporating your movement with that said weapon. So I'm going to show you guys the movement first, because the movement is honestly something you guys can learn in a day. You're not going to be perfect with it, but you can learn everything in a day. And over time, you'll get better with it, as well as learning how to aim while using these movements. So I know a ton of people are going to be here for the super jump, this thing right here, because I'm constantly just getting questions how to do it. And there's a specific way you guys can do it. You guys will try to copy what I just did, but you most likely can't, because there's something that you guys need in order to do it. And I'll be showing you guys that a little bit later, because there's a ton that goes into doing that. And most of you guys will not be able to do it, and I apologize for that. Anyway, starting off with basic movements, you have strafe. Obviously, everybody should know this by this point. So going based off of strafe, you want to start learning the jumping strafe. So you incorporate jump and strafing. This will help you maneuver away from people's gunshots and such. If you guys are in like a big firefight and you're the last one alive, your whole team just died, and you have a ton of people shooting at you, incorporating this movement might save your life. So learning how to strafe jump like this is kind of ideal. All right, so now incorporating the jumping strafe into a slide to win you a gunfight as well, to throw off an enemy. Now, this is something you guys probably see me do in a lot of my videos. So the main premise of it is you want to learn to do this. It's very simple. You can start by just, turning and sliding and looking away. But you want to teach yourself how to do it much quicker so that you can kind of throw off your enemy. So keep doing this over and over again and slightly get faster with it. And eventually you should basically look like that. You slide a different direction instead of straight on. So doing things like this will help you win some fights. And the reason for that is because you're going to be incorporating this and then also this. You're going to go from a strafe jump into a sideways slide and also shooting that said enemy. This will throw off about, I would say, a good 80% of the players in the game. I'm not saying you won't die by that player, but it will throw off a lot of them. The other 20% is most likely a good player, and they have a better chance of killing you when you do this. So you want to incorporate this into the left slide as well. Just kind of learn both of them over time and start incorporating your jump slides into this. And over time, you'll get better with it. So since you guys just learned that, now you guys can learn how to do a backward slide. I use this to get away from people chasing me with a melee, because for myself personally, I encounter that a lot when I stream and or just play the game. I have a ton of people that try to melee me. But this is what I use in order to shoot them. I just sprint, slide, turn around, shoot them. That's what I kind of do to get away from people trying to melee me, but that's just something very simple. Same thing as like the left and right slide, but this time you're going straight on and turning around. This isn't super advanced, but it is helpful for people chasing you. All right, getting into the juicy stuff, boys. The box jumps. Now, I'm not going to show you guys a super jump yet, and I'll explain how you guys do the super jump in detail. I'll give you guys the most detail as possible and help you guys out the most. So my box jumps might look a little bit different than yours because of the FPS Unlocker that I have, but learning how to sideways jump from a box is kind of ideal. You really want to do this because it'll throw your enemies off a ton, and doing this is way better than standing up and peeking left and right of a box or even leaning around a box. Doing this will most likely win you most of the fights, even a 1v2. When you're doing a 1v3, it's a little bit more risky. This movement is something you guys can incorporate pretty quickly to peek your enemy again and to throw them off, because typically when you hide behind a box, if the player's out in the open, there's not much cover, they will run at you. So if you're getting ran at and somebody jumps out like that while you're running, I mean, you have the guy dead to rights. If you guys don't kill him, then that was completely your fault. So obviously start doing that for the right side as well. Learn those, get used to them. And now getting into the super jump. In order for you guys to do the super jump, I'm going to need you to press Shift F5. And at the top left, if you are not averaging 60 FPS, if you're just going 50 FPS, you cannot do the super jump. So after you guys learn, if you guys have an average of 60 FPS, you want to download FPS Unlocker. I'll leave a link in the description down below. I'll pop up me downloading it right now on the screen. I'm not going to go through the whole process. It's very simple. You download it. You open up that folder and then you double click the program on the inside. After you double click that program, load up Roblox, and you'll have unlocked FPS. Now this won't get you in trouble because Roblox himself has already came out and said that you can use this about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago. They said this is allowed, so we can't be banned for it unless that specific game says that it's not allowed. But Bad Business doesn't care. They don't ban this. Anybody can do it. The reason why you need FPS Unlocker is because you need to be past 60 FPS in order to break your character's physics in a way, in order to launch yourself into the air. Other games like Phantom Forces, this will help you have lower recoil, like it would actually help with your recoil patterns, make it easier to control weapons, which is a big advantage. And then also at times you can get launched in the air by climbing over certain stuff in Phantom Forces by having an FPS Unlocker. All right, so now that you guys have FPS Unlocker, you guys are in game. It doesn't hurt to try this even if you guys have 70 FPS, but I had some people telling me that even with 70 FPS, they still can't do it. Like I said, lower your graphics quality, also disable your textures. And if you have to, disable your arms if you really need like that, maybe one more FPS. And hopefully you guys should be able to do this. So after you guys do all that, pay attention to my bottom left keyboard and mouse. Well, not mouse doesn't matter, but pay attention to that bottom left and see the keystrokes that I'm using. So you obviously want to hold or press W, Shift, and spacebar, and this will launch you forward, okay? Now, if you do that same thing, you can do it sideways now by incorporating A. And that's why my strafe jumps sideways looked a little bit different than you guys. And that's just the basic super jump. And then you can start adding a little bit more into it by also using your crouch button. For me, that's C. So it'll be the same thing, but also incorporating C into it. And incorporating C, one, apparently it makes you go higher in the air. One thing I will say is I'm not super good with this movement yet. I'm still personally learning it myself. But at times I do a pretty good job at using it. You typically want to go from a slide to laying down behind a box. It'll allow you to get to the ground a lot faster, because if you do this, it's a lot slower process. But if you go into a slide then lay down like this, it'll give you much faster process like that. And then you just want to start incorporating it by doing sideways with it, to the right. Even I like to do this as well, get on top of the boxes. But that is pretty much the super jump. That's all you really need to know. If you guys can't do it, if you guys sat there for an hour trying to do it, you most likely cannot do it. It's because your FPS needs to be high enough in order to break Roblox's physics for you guys to do it. That movement is not for everybody, but still using the box to your advantage is very needed. These boxes are on every single map, I'm pretty sure. So learning how to maneuver around them is very ideal, and it'll help you win fights with or without having the super jump. So now that I taught you guys all of those things, you want to start incorporating them with actually shooting as well. Kind of want to choose a specific weapon that you personally enjoy using. For me, it's the honey badger, and every other weapon in the game I can control and do this movement with. But you want to stick to one weapon first, learn that, and then start moving on to other weapons after you guys get your movement down and everything. So the first thing you guys want to start teaching yourself is jumping and shooting. That is something very needed. You kind of want to try to keep it in a group of a player. So the reason why I let my bullets go up here is because typically when I do fight, other people are shooting as well. So practicing to keep everything in a tight group while jumping is ideal. That's more of a tighter group there, but typically people are jumping with me, so I aim a little bit higher as well. So after you feel comfortable with jumping and shooting, you want to start incorporating your sideways slide and shooting as well. Even doing your backward slide thing and shoot as well. The recoil pattern on that is pretty nuts, so be careful doing that. Don't do it from a range. And as soon as you start feeling comfortable with that, you just kind of want to start working on your aim. Kind of work on your flicks a little bit. You could typically do this by simply doing things like this around the map and just slowly get used to flicking around. Flicking is not an absolute must. You don't need to be insane gamer and, you know, spinning in circles, aiming at people. That's not something you need to do, but I do recommend trying to improve at that because it will help you in the long run. If you guys truly want to know the best way to start getting better at the game, it's honestly just throwing yourself in terrible situations so you can learn what to do better and what to do in those bad situations if you ever get into them again. Getting good at a game is a process you can't learn overnight. You can't become an absolute god overnight. Gaming is also very similar to how life works as well. If you make a mistake, you learn a lesson. Same thing happens in life, same thing happens in games. You make a mistake, you learn a lesson. And then hopefully you guys won't repeat that and do it again. Or you'll have a solution to that mistake you made last time and you'll know better and how to counter it the next time. But incorporating all of this and putting it all in one is how you're truly going to get better at bad business. Like I said, it's a process. You're not going to be better overnight, and it could take you a super long time to get to how good you could be at the game. It could take an entire year for you to get to that point, or even sooner depending how fast a learner you are. I took a super long break from bad business, came back, and I would say I'm pretty much caught up with most of the players. I'm definitely not on their skill level, but I learned everything that they know so far, and I also do compete pretty well against a lot of them because a lot of them join my streams, a lot of the good players, and I would say I do a decent job against them personally. But that is the tips and tricks I have for you guys. I think I'm going to do a little bit of gameplay. Not much, but I'm going to show you guys a little bit of gameplay of me incorporating everything I showed you guys so you guys can kind of see everything in action while I'm being shot at and everything. So let me go ahead and hop into some gameplay and we'll go from there. Another tip I feel like I should add in here that I forgot to add. If you guys are using insta-heal, and say this guy shoots me, right? Shoot me. Thank you, thank you. In order to actually re-peek this guy as quick as possible, you want to press G or whatever your heal key is, and then press 1 right after. You want to insta-swap back to your weapon so you can get right back into the fight, and hopefully not get shot by another player right after you do it. But that's kind of something you want to do. Got to add that into my little tips. All right, so when you do your super jumps, it's ideal to kind of use an idea, kind of plan out what you're going to do. So I hear people to my right, jump out like this. That guy did not expect that. Okay. There's that. But obviously some things I'm doing is more of game knowledge and map awareness. That's something you guys will not learn instantly. It's just something you'll learn over time. So just keep grinding, learning all these movements. And as you guys learn these movements, you're going to get more aggressive. As you get more aggressive, you're going to start learning how people play, what lanes they run to more often. I have 2 players over here, so I'm expecting them all to go this side. But spawns are going to flip as soon as they push all the way through. I just need these teammates to move up. Simple things like this will go a long way. We have a couple players over here, so we're gonna lay down, launch, and we should throw these guys off by just flying in like that. And spawns should be flipping, and or they flip to the other side over here. All right, they're back this side now. Go over, get over here quick. Threw that guy off with our little slide movement there. Got him. All right, we got a ton of players here. But typically, the main reason to use it, for example, is to throw somebody off like that. So if he had me pinned at the box, he saw me lay down behind it, and then he started running up. And then you want to launch over and just throw him off. That's pretty much the main purpose of the box jump, is to truly just confuse your enemy that got you pinned. Why is that guy just sitting in the back of the map? You can also use it to escape a little bit as well. See, if he knew how to do it, he could have killed me there, or had a good chance at killing me. He could have used it to throw me off, because I did sprint at him after he went behind the box. So that's kind of how you want to use it. So hopefully I kind of showed you guys all the movement from my gameplay. All right, so we have a player right here. Launch over. He kind of thought I was going the opposite direction, so just keep that in mind while you're playing. This is kind of like the perfect lobby for me to show you guys some stuff. Oh, that guy left. I was going to get him to... Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. He's got me pinned. And then we jumped around the opposite way. But I think that's all that I'm going to show you guys for this video. Hopefully it was helpful in some way. You learned something new. If I did manage to show you guys anything new in this video, please leave a like down below so I know that I did help some of you guys out. And also leave a comment telling me what I did teach you if you guys didn't know anything. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for all the support recently. I really do appreciate it. Peace out.